mind. I'd forgotten how much I hate space travel.
It's time for Cinema Savants.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Your weekly source for movie news.
What are your superpowers again?
I'm rich. Movie reviews.
You gave me the only parachute without hesitation.
I thought there was another one.
And the occasional Hollywood rumor.
Dad! Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet.
Hosted by Todd Vandenberg.
He stuck his finger in the end of your what?
And Rob Steele.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Don't do anything stupid, all right?
Welcome to another episode of Cinema Savants, your home for movie news and reviews and all that good stuff. And we have breaking news this morning that I'll get to in just a minute. First, a bit of introductions. He is Red Rice Cakes, and I am finally happy that Wimbledon is over.
Okay.
It was really confusing to me because I was just going to spring that on him, but he mentioned the whole Facebook thing. What's your stripper name? Oh, it's the color of your underwear and whatever you're eating. And that is what he put on there like, what, an hour ago?
No, that was last night.
That was
Here's a hot update. Here's your breaking news. I am now China Red Chili.
Well, anyway, that... he mentioned that just before, 3 seconds before we go on the air, and I said, that's what I'm introducing him with anyway. It was very weird. But the reason I was interested in Wimbledon, because I'm normally not. I stopped caring about Wimbledon when McEnroe and Borg retired, which was, 7,000 or 8,000 years ago. It's a good marketing thing. It's how to get geeks and nerds and sci-fi fans to watch Wimbledon. And the way to do that is to announce who's playing the next Doctor Who as soon as the men's final is over. So, millions of us geeks and nerds are hanging on the edge of our seats, not giving a rat's ass who actually wins the match. We just want it to be over so that we can make the announcement of who's playing the next Doctor Who. Because it's big news, and it's such a highly kept secret that when they filmed the Christmas special, where they usually have the next Doctor show up in the last 30 seconds, and you go, oh, that's the new Doctor. Rachel Taylor, who directed the Christmas episode, when they finished filming it about a month ago, she still didn't know. And was complaining about it this week, as well she should, because she's directing a scene with an actress that, did I let something slip? That she doesn't even know who it is. And it was announced about half an hour ago, the 13th Doctor is Jodie Whittaker, which very few people were expecting. Jodie Whittaker of Broadchurch fame.
Oh, I thought you meant from A Family Affair with Brian Keith.
No. Although, maybe it is. I don't know. I doubt that.
Good thing. I doubt that because he died a long time ago. Anyway.
That would be clever. Maybe he regenerated and came back as... Anyway.
That's an awful thing to say, yet I laugh.
It was. I tease. It's my job. Yes, Jodie Whittaker, frankly, I caught like 2 episodes of Broadchurch, and that is where I know her from, and that is it. But she is going to be the 13th Doctor. She's first female Doctor we've had. So, big news, breaking news on this show of all places. Who knew?
Certainly not I.
And you watch tennis. So... There.
I've been busy this morning.
Oh, silly me. And so have I, trying to put my microphone back together, and it didn't work until 3 minutes before the show. Fun.
Well, that's perfect timing.
Yeah, we don't need any pre-show production. We're good with everything on the show, including our big news segment, the good, the bad, and the whatever. Because I had nowhere else to put my camel. Good news. And a lot of it comes out, well, actually, a lot of the news this week seems to come out of the D23 convention, which is not Marvel itself, but Disney. Disney's big, hey, look what we're doing convention. And there's a lot of movie news that came out of it, including this one, and I like the idea of this. It's about a sequel that's long overdue, but we're not going to notice it, that it's long overdue, because Incredibles 2 is going to start exactly where the last one left off. So we're going to be able to see the fight between the Incredibles and the Underminer.
Which is wonderful.
I think that's a great idea. And because it's animated and in a, frankly, nondescript time period, you can do that. I like the idea.
I mean, and literally, they pick up exactly where they left off. Not like,
exactly.
You know, that's just brilliant. And it
they're
just
still in the
sounds
parking lot.
Awesome. Sounds incredibly awesome. And some of the descriptions they've had of Jack. Very cool. And I like the fact that apparently Elastigirl, even though she's, as Holly Hunter would say, I'm hardly a girl anymore, the fact that it's really going to focus a little more on her than Mr. Incredible is very good. Not that he's not going to be in it, but the focus was more on Mr. Incredible in the first one, so the focus is going to shift a little more to the mom instead of the dad, which is awesome. So, cool. Really, really, really looking forward to this, because easily one of my favorite movies ever, period. Not just animated movies, not just Pixar. That's just an awesome flick, and there's no reason to think this one won't be just as good, if not better.
I will agree. Other news coming out of Disney. Now, we talked about this a little bit last week, the live-action Aladdin movie, and they were worried that they wouldn't be able to find anybody of with the proper skin tone to play the characters. Well, they announced the cast yesterday, with Mina Massoud from Jack Ryan playing Aladdin, and Naomi Scott from the new Power Rangers movie playing Jasmine. And, well, it looks like they got half of them right. I honestly can't tell if Naomi Scott looks a bit pale to me, but that might just be me. Aladdin, hey, look, he's not a white boy. Yes, good, well done there. So it's not a completely whitewashed remake, which I'm considering good news, because it shouldn't be.
It should just be... I'm kind of curious as how exactly... I mean, did they really think they were going to have, like, difficulty finding an actor who wasn't China white? And
that was their claim.
Who's
and
claim?
I don't know why.
Have they not
apparently
seen
Disney
film in the past 50 years? What? Wow. I mean... if you actually thought that... Yeah, why? No kidding. Why would you make a statement like that public? Unless you wanted to show how out of touch you are with, I don't know, Earth. Holy cow. The main news is, good job on the casting. Will Smith, those are some big shoes to fill, and he knows that he's playing the genie. And, I mean, that's a good choice. He's not going to be the same. I mean, and of course a lot of it is the writing, and a lot of the genie, of course, was Robin Williams ad-libbing, but that's an excellent choice. I think Will Smith will do a very good job with that, so that's cool. I'm happy they went with Will Smith. I'm happy the casting looks right, so good job on Disney once they finally figured out, there are actors out there who don't look like Scarlett Johansson.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Other news that came out of D23, and I frankly love this, and this could be the quote of the week, I think. It came from Mark Hamill, because they talked to him and they said, they're doing a Han Solo prequel movie. Would you like a Luke Skywalker prequel movie? And his response was, he lived on a moisture farm on a desert planet. Yawn. And he's absolutely correct. If they do one, they absolutely should not, under any circumstances, do a prequel with Luke Skywalker. That's just...
Here's the thing. Star Wars, the New Hope Episode 4, Star Wars is the prequel movie. Hello?
Yeah, pretty much.
You already did it. Did Luke start out as a Jedi? Hardly.
No.
So, that's the prequel movie, morons. I understand that you want to make a lot of money, but like Hamill said, it's like, what would be interesting about a prequel movie for Luke Skywalker? Nothing happened, as he said. Good God. Again, Disney puts out some amazing product, but sometimes you have to wonder what is going on in the background there. Thinking is like, wow, can we get an actor that isn't white? Do they exist? And now they're thinking, oh, what would be a fun, awesome story? The story of a young child growing up. Yeah. Oh my God, it just hurts my head so much.
There was an Eddie Izzard bit about how farming is so boring that you never get a farming movie because you never saw Bruce Willis in Farm Hard, where someone took over the Nakatomi farm and things went bad from there.
The Nakatomi farm.
Luke Skywalker doesn't need a prequel. Luke Skywalker isn't a prequel. It just, no. Thank you for playing. Moving on a bit. They announced this week that Daniel Craig has actually signed up for the next Bond movie. Good news. Christopher Nolan is not directing it. Again, I consider somewhat good news. Adele may be coming back for another song. That's just not necessary. But it started me thinking about the Bond songs. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking there might really only be one or two that actually fit the movie. Because I'm thinking if you have a theme song to a movie, it needs to fit the theme of the movie. And very few of them do. The only ones I'm thinking would be like the Living Daylights that A-ha did, or A View to a Kill from Duran Duran. Because if you look at, and I've forgotten who sang it, and I apologize to her, Goldfinger. She sang a song called Goldfinger, but it was a painfully slow song for a movie that's supposed to be an action-packed spy movie.
That was the great Shirley Bassey, by the way. It totally fits. I understand what you're saying as far as the tempo. I thought you were talking about the lyric.
No. The lyrics are fine. Let's have a car chase scene, and in the car chase scene you can play the theme to the movie. But Bond is running out of a building. He jumps into his Aston Martin. He puts it in third gear to take off with, and down the road at 100 Goldfinger, and that you just kind of go, hang on a minute, this music doesn't fit this scene.
No, but they didn't have to play the music during the scene. It's just for the credits. See, back then they had enough action. Sean Connery himself just exuded action. They didn't need artificial stimulation through an amped up theme song, as if the new films don't have plenty of action. Of course they do. I get what you're saying. But yeah, it's true. From Russia with Love, also a very slow. They had ballads for the James Bond theme songs then.
With love. I'm trying to sing, and I shouldn't.
Which is kind of odd. Yeah, you shouldn't. By the way, farm movies, you are so wrong. There are many farm movies. The River, Country, both came out in 1984. Places in Heart, 1984 was the year for farm movies. Because you had Country, which was a good movie, but not a big hit. The River, a good movie, not a big hit. Places in the Heart, that was a big hit. And big actors in all of them, and Place in the Heart, the only one that actually did much business, had a lot of success. So,
but they weren't big action movies.
Basically, you're right, because that's like over 30 years since the Farm movie had its heyday.
Ooh, there's a pun. Well done. Tim, I'm just saying, not a big action. You can have dramas set in a farm.
Yeah, but there aren't many dramas set in a farm. That's the funny thing. I mean, it's not a funny thing. It makes perfect sense. But yeah. Oh,
quick!
Signs.
We must set up the thrashing machine to go harvest the wheat. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that doesn't work.
Signs is set at a farm.
See, that's more of an alien invasion movie. It could have been anywhere.
But they had crop circles.
But it was a farm.
They had crop circles. They needed to be on the farm. Even though the lead character wasn't a farmer.
It was one of the M. Night Shaka Khan movies, so it could be anybody.
He was a defrocked, self-defrocked beast. Yeah, that was his farm, but whatever. Anyway, yes, back and away from the farm movies.
How about Wonder Woman 2, which has good
not a
news
farm movie.
And bad news?
Not a farm movie. At all. Yes.
I wouldn't think. The idea is to have Wonder Woman 2 take place during the Cold War, during the 80s. Okay, fine, I'm with them on that. However, Chris Pine is allegedly coming back. So I'm guessing massive old age makeup being done.
No.
Would kind of have to.
No.
Or just have him all in flashback scenes.
Or, it turns out that he didn't die. He's somehow saved. I mean, he went into the Phantom Zone or some goofy thing. They'll do something like that. I'm sure they'll do something like that. Because there's no point in having Chris Pine come back unless they're doing extensive flashbacks. They don't want to have him in old age makeup. Unless it's like, it's a one-off. And if they're making a big deal about it, I can kind of see, him for a scene or two, a flashback. But
he's a hallucination,
it's a comic book movie.
Kevin Costner was in the Bat movie.
I would prefer, since it's a comic book movie, I would prefer they just bring him back. I mean, come on. How often do heroes die in comic book movies, really?
If it's Jean Grey, every 5 years or so.
Yeah, very true.
Other DC news. Let's see. Syrian Hines is playing Steppenwolf in the Justice League movie. And he's finished all of his filming, and they finished all the filming for it. But it was interesting that he never actually got to meet any of the actors because he's all CG.
Is he playing the entire band or just like the lead singer?
He could be both.
So now, see, that's a problem with the film process. If he is the lead antagonist, and yet he never met any of the actors that he supposedly is fighting. That's
a bit weird.
Odd. And that's a choice, and it seems like an ill-considered choice by the director. Makes no sense.
No. It doesn't. And it goes along with another bit of DC news. Excuse me. Another bit of DC news that came out this week concerning the Black Lightning TV series that's coming.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be a separate universe from the Arrowverse.
Why?
And I don't know. But actor Cress Williams, who's playing the lead character of Black Lightning, came out with a quote this week, and I'm going to read this quote to you. What makes it different is that we're really a family drama. The origin story aside, they don't have the ties of a family that's keeping them tied to reality. Our show is just really dealing with a grassroots superhero who is not trying to save the world. He's trying to save his community. The fact that he just has the real world ties makes it different. Well, somebody wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention. I'm sorry, old lady, what was it that you said earlier?
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
See, I'm thinking somebody didn't watch the first season of Arrow, because what you just described was the first season of Arrow. Arrow was a family drama with, Ollie coming back from the island. Oh no, Dad killed himself at some point, and how am I going to deal with my sister and my best friend and my mom? Family. Grassroots superhero, not trying to save the world, just trying to save his community. Have you disappointed your city? You failed your community, apparently, and that's what Ollie was doing in the first season of Arrow. So the fact that he has real-world ties just makes it almost exactly the same as the first season of Arrow.
And Flash.
Thanks for playing.
Which is also part of the Arrow. I can see this, the separation of their universes for like the first season if they're going that way, and then they'll tie in the second season. But I really hope this isn't some kind of thing of why would you not want that synergy of tying in the big universe? That makes zero sense. So hopefully down the road they will tie all these in.
I mean, they said the same thing with Supergirl, and at the end of that first season, all right, crossover with Flash.
And I can see, like I said, I can see the crossover down the road, but it makes absolutely no sense to have an entirely separate universe. I mean, because that smacks of, something wrong with the color of the characters, maybe, that they don't like it, or more likely just plain stupidity.
I'm going to go with the second one.
Yeah, I think so too. I would imagine that there would be a crossover tie-in by kicking off the second season, or a big reveal at the end, like they did with Supergirl. So, because frankly, it would be moronic not to tie it all in.
Why tie it in with your big money maker?
Yeah.
Speaking of shows that are not tied in, and this one needs to be tied down and beaten with a stick, Gotham has announced that Scarecrow is going to be a bigger part of season 4, and the picture they released is actually kind of creepy looking. It shows a very young Bruce Wayne with a kind of a scarecrow in the background. But there's talk that they're going to be making Batman himself appear in this series. The problem is, Bruce Wayne is 16 years old. Do we really want a 16-year-old Batman? And the answer is, no, we don't. That's a stupid idea.
Well, the whole series, the whole concept is a stupid idea, I think. And I know it's very popular. I know people like it. I get the fact of, okay, let's do a show based in Gotham, but all the villains just happen to all be at the same. It's like, come on, that's not how life works. I mean, oh Jesus.
That's not how any of this works.
Exactly. Thank you, old lady. I just. And a 16-year-old Batman, no thanks. No thank you whatsoever. And like I said, I know it's popular. I've seen about 15 minutes of it. And if I live to be 1,000 somehow, if I keep on regenerating, hopefully those will be the only 15 minutes I will ever see of it. So just the concept is absolutely dumb.
It's a bit flawed. Kind of like the new visor that Cyclops is wearing in the new X-Men movies. They released a picture of this week, and the poor twit looks like he's wearing it upside down. But he's not. But he is at the same time. It's one of those things. When Chris Claremont was in charge of the X-Men back in the 80s and 90s, he did have the little under-eye thing going that this mask does, and that's fine. The difference is it was yellow, and it kind of made sense. The way they built this, it just looks like it's on upside down.
It does.
It's not glasses either. It's these things that hook to his ears in a different way than glasses do. Go find a comic book. It'll make sense. No, I saw this and went, oh, should not have done that. It just doesn't work. Although something else that doesn't work.
It fits their series. They've done a lot of things upside down.
Most of it, writing while being suspended from the ceiling, letting all the blood rush to their head and come out their ears, and that's what they use as ink. No, not a good idea. But hanging upside down from like bats, and I should have tied this together with the other story. I got them out of order. My bad.
Shame on you.
Christopher Nolan announced that they're doing a 4K conversion of the Dark Knight trilogy. So it's going to be absolutely crystal clear when you watch it on your 4K player, on your 4K TV. But my favorite comment about this was, wow, a 4K version of the Dark Knight. The black of his suit just got a whole lot clearer. I'm not sure that it needs to be done. 1080p is enough. We can't, as human beings, we are incapable of seeing into the 4K range. So, I mean, technologically, spectacular. Do we need it? I don't think so.
Financially, spectacular.
Oh, that's right. There's money. Which is, I think, what Marvel's doing with their new show on the Freeform channel, The New Warriors. Now, the New Warriors were characters that I only knew about because they're what brought about the actual Civil War in the comics. Because one of them went and blew himself up next to a school bus or something, and that started the whole Civil War in the comics. Now they're turning it into a TV series, and it's been cast, including a character that, frankly, I don't understand. That character is called Squirrel Girl, which just doesn't flow off the tongue anyway. But she's been cast. She's being played by Milana. Oh boy, Vaintrub? Is that how you pronounce that? I haven't heard it pronounced. I've only seen it spelled. And if you go, but Rob, we have no idea who that is. Yes, you do. She's the girl from the AT&T commercials. She is Squirrel Girl. So take that for whatever it's worth.
I'll just say that Squirrel Girl is a, and by the way, it's typically the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. It's just a hilarious character, and I think that's excellent casting. Is it kind of hard to tell if this young lady can act based on some commercials? Okay, yeah, probably. But, I mean, she is incredibly charming, which this character requires. She has a lot of spunk. And while Lou Grant, it's a well-known fact, Lou Grant did not like spunk. Most people like spunk. So I think that's awesome casting. And, like you said, you may not know the name, but you know the face. So it's an instantly recognizable face. I think that's extremely smart of them to do that. I think it'll be very cool. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I also have a feeling they're probably going to shy away from the whole Civil War thing. I don't think we'll see an opening where the kid blows up a school, since they've already done the Civil War and they changed it entirely.
That's true. And just to clarify, it was accidental. It's not like he went, hey, look, there's a school bus, and ran over to blow it up.
Right. But I do hope they incorporate that aspect of it where, I mean, because basically the New Warriors are parallel a little bit to Teen Titans when the Teen Titans first came up, because they were not quite trusted by the big group. And the New Warriors are kind of in that same vein where it's like, I don't really know if you guys are ready for prime time. So it'd be interesting to see if they take that aspect, that approach to it, and hopefully they do. So
it'll be interesting, and it'll go along with the Titans. Thing is, it's going to go out about the same time that the Teen Titans series is coming out. So, good planning, fellas.
Good time to be a geek. Or nerd.
Either way.
Or person.
Let's see, something else to come out of the D3 convention.
A lot of things.
A lot of things. Footage of the new Avengers movie. Now, if you look around not on YouTube, it's been taken down off YouTube. Daily Motion, though. Someone forgot to look at them. I found the footage. You know what? It's a lot of clips from the movies we've already seen, ending with a new logo. And people cheered and were happy about it, and I'm just like, why did you even bother making this? We've seen all these clips before because we watched the movies. And yeah, the new logo, we've seen that too. We just haven't seen it turn around like it did. So as far as I'm concerned, lots of whatever.
I have a feeling that's a different clip. I mean, I haven't seen what they're describing at D23, but from the description, there is a lot of new footage. And from what they're saying,
I couldn't tell it.
I've seen like about 50 seconds of it before that was taken off YouTube, and the clip apparently was like 5 or 6 minutes. And yeah, like I'm saying, I'm sure that because that clip is out there where they have a lot of footage from the other stuff, but apparently there's a lot of new footage. The highlight being Thanos hurling what appears to be a moon at some heroes. Not with his hand, but with the power of the Infinity Gems that he has, which makes him kind of a big bad because that hasn't actually happened yet. So
I'd like to see the footage, and I'm sure it's going to leak nicely at some point.
Yeah, and Comic-Con is coming up, so I'm sure that'll come up pretty quickly.
Probably. Let's see other news out of that. Luke Cage, Season 2. The first episode is going to be directed by Lucy Liu. Do you care? Because I heard this and I went, and they made a big deal out of it. But my point is, I mean, that's nice and everything, good for her, but, I'm not...
And?
It was made out to be, it's the best thing ever, and it's Lucy Liu, which I'm not meaning to knock Lucy Liu, but
it's cool.
And I mean, it's not like they're saying here's this bit. It's Martin Scorsese is doing it, okay, and that's not a sexist thing. It's because Scorsese is known as being a director of massively impressive things, and Liu isn't.
A fair comp would be Patty Jenkins is directing the first episode, because then you have a female director who is the hottest director going right now. It's cool news, but yeah, it's not exactly earth-shaking. It's awesome for Lucy Liu. It's cool for the series, but yeah, it's not like, oh my gosh, like you said, because the reaction, deservedly so, would be a little bigger if Martin Scorsese decided, I think I'll direct a Marvel Netflix series. So we had a guest in studio.
We do?
Yes, we do. Who wishes to speak about a film he saw this weekend, which we haven't gotten to yet.
Well, now's a good time.
For the Planet of the Apes opened this weekend. It's gotten excellent reviews. And I have a feeling it might be about to get another excellent review. Ted?
It has supplanted Homecoming.
Is this our only fan, Ted?
Not just your only fan, your only super fan.
Oh.
our only super fan, our only super fan, and our part-time contributor, Ted. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you guys doing? All right, what's the deal?
I'm here. I am doing a show. Beyond that.
It's your world, Doctor. We're just living in it. So I understand that you saw the Planet of the Apes film.
I did see the Planet of the Apes film, but I want to let you know the original Doctor was not chosen as Dr. 13. I just want to let you guys know that.
That's a shame because you could use the paycheck.
Oh yeah, I could. I mean, it would have been great. But
would have been awesome.
I saw the end of I saw the entire trilogy of the Planet of the Apes, and it was awesome. Totally awesome. Totally closed the gap. And what's the guy's name from White Man Can't Jump? He was incredible.
Wesley Snipes. No, that's wrong.
It's like Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes makes a guest appearance.
Oh my goodness! And he still can't jump either.
Okay.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
You
thought Woody was good in True Detective. He was great in Planet of the Apes as the Colonel.
I've heard that.
Did anybody see this coming back when he was on Cheers?
Not at all.
Sure.
Wait, guys, hang on 1 second. I'm about to put it in order. Hey, how you doing? Hey, can I have a 10-piece chicken?
Drive through and falling into a show. That's
Yes.
I'm muting Ted as he orders his lunch, breakfast, brunch.
We'll come back to you, Ted.
We'll have to come. We'll have to ask Ted what his underwear color is.
I'm not even. This has turned out to be such a weird show.
Really?
If you're tuning in for the first time, normally we're slightly more.
Oh, don't even make those kind of statements. This is a very typical show.
Oh, okay.
Off the rails.
Typical us. Yay. The only other thing I had directly in our news segment was that they're making a Toy Story 4.
They're making a Toy Story 4. No, that's quite all right. We're talking about Toy Story 4.
I just try to bring something new every time I join Cinema Savants.
This time it's food.
The real question, Ted, is you have to give us your stripper name. So we need the color of your underwear and what you're eating.
It depends on the color of the underwear changes after I finish eating some fried food.
Oh, man. Rob, you're right. This show demands an apology.
I'm sorry.
Are less than our partly spectacular normal selves.
I'm sorry.
You're not
so sorry. I am. But no, guys. You were talking about Toy Story 4?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently it's being run by, who is it? Written by Rashida Jones and Will McCormick. And they mentioned a bunch of other names that, frankly, I can't bring myself to care about.
Oh, my God.
I thought Toy Story 1 was a good movie. 2, not as much. 3, no thanks. 4, why?
I like 3.
I don't know. I'm pretty much in the why. Why bother continuing to make these?
Rob.
Other than the money. Other than
money. It's a cash cow. The root of all evil, Rob.
I know. I'm trying to be higher than that.
The love of money and Disney is the root of all evil.
Have you guys seen any of Angie Tribeca on, I think, TBS with Rashida Jones?
I've not caught any of Angie Tribeca. Rashida Jones is crazy funny. She is really funny, though.
Yes. Not sure how this one is going to play out, but, hey, I'll roll with it. I mean, I think my 10-year-old is a little bit too big to see Toy Story, but I think I'm game to go see it.
But you're not. I know the feeling, though.
Yeah, you're like, come on. They're like, no, I don't want to go see that anymore, Dad. And you're like, come on.
You've still got the wallpaper.
He wants to go see Deadpool 2 at this point.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yep,
Sickening.
exactly.
So,
10-year-olds, man.
Hey, are you guys going down to Comic-Con?
Yeah, sure.
I'd love to. You buying my ticket?
No, I was going to say, if you guys are, let me hide in your suitcase.
Exactly. If maybe Lee can fill in for all of us at work. He's not busy working his 12-hour shifts with no days off.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I missed the early part of the show, and I'm sorry.
Nothing happened.
Did you guys talk about D23?
We brought up a lot of stuff that happened at D23 from the Aladdin casting and the Incredibles and a bit of Star Wars stuff.
Oh, okay.
One of the big things from Star Wars this week, they had here's footage of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Right.
I haven't seen the in front of the scenes stuff yet. Don't send me the behind the scenes stuff.
I know.
I don't care yet.
I don't like this.
I might
like
care
this.
later. But not now.
Well, the one thing that's interesting to me about this behind the scenes stuff is they're certainly pushing the dark themes that are coming up in this. I mean, there's every indication, like they're hitting you over the head with a hammer with it, that this is going to parallel The Empire Strikes Back, like hardcore.
Yes.
Well,
which I like.
It's the second movie in a trilogy. Star Wars stuff.
So hopefully they will do that.
So
that'll be exciting.
Is there any reason for the good folks at Disney not releasing any footage for the regular folks? Or this is like the D23 stuff is just for like investors? Like what's the business reason behind it?
I think just build excitement for Comic-Con when they release that footage. Just get some buzz going.
Gotcha.
Because that's this week, and then Friday it'll come out. I hope. I mean, there'll probably be some footage they won't release, but it makes zero business sense. Again, since we're talking about money, for them not to release this footage like right after Comic-Con. Not that anyone is going to, I saw the footage, I don't have to go to Comic-Con. That's not what they're worried about. But I think it's just a matter of building the buzz. So, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be a lot of angry people if they don't do that. So, and that's one thing. The industry complains about piracy, and the solution is very simple. Release it.
Release everybody.
Yeah. So
release it. Just release it already. Come on.
And again, we're talking about releasing clips. We're not talking about, as soon as the film's in the tank, go ahead and release it because you send out private screeners to the Academy. No, I'm not talking about that. But as far as screener footage, So hopefully that'll come out. But yeah, from all the people who saw it, apparently it's just amazing, wonderful stuff. So I
want to see them release everything globally at the same time. I think that would also help.
Yes.
Because you have the last place, the last country to get Captain America shown in a theater was the United States.
The United States of America.
That was a little odd. That was a little odd. And
I just want to jump in here and say you wonder why there's screeners that are available on the web before the movie even comes out. You're like, come on, release it everywhere.
Right, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like you can't really complain. Well, you can complain because people should be better than that. But when other people have seen the movie a month before you have, that does not make a lot of sense.
That,
so global release,
people, I don't know how you guys deal with, like last year. I mean, 2 years ago when I found out Han Solo died, the morning that I was going to go see the Force Awakens, and I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I deal with it this way. I don't go on the internet for like a couple days before something happens. I have serious withdrawals, definitely, but Yeah. No, seriously, it's not easy. It is not easy to stay off the internet for a couple days like that. But, you know, I mean, I check email and stuff, but that's because, luckily, I don't have anyone who sends me spoilers in the... That would be... Oh, we should totally do that. Cinema Savants. We're going to send out spoilers in the subject line to ruin everyone's life.
Mr. Bowell, here's what happens in that movie you're going to go see this weekend.
Right. It's crazy.
That'll be a wonderful service. One thing, Ted, the box office for War for the Planet of the Apes isn't really great, which is shocking.
No.
Like you said, it beat Spider-Man Homecoming, but this is the second week for Spider-Man Homecoming. At $56 million for an opening weekend, that's
kind of long, yeah.
Is amazing because again, it's got great reviews.
But 56 million, is that worldwide or is that just U.S.?
That's U.S. That's U.S.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, we're late to the party on a lot of things.
No, it's only added 46 overseas. So.
Oh, okay.
In this case, it probably did come out not simultaneously everywhere. So, again, that's not exactly bad, but compared to Spider-Man, I'm really kind of shocked.
Oh. Totally.
But again, this goes with sequelitis. People are just kind of not so hyped on the sequels.
How do you do it again? Hey, I do have one confession to make.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I don't have my hands on anything, on a body part or anything like that while I'm listening to the show. But listen.
I don't want to listen anymore. I want to go away.
Todd, Rob, Todd, I have not viewed one episode of Game of Thrones.
That's okay, I haven't either.
Oh, I was about to say, am I in the minority?
Not on this show.
Okay,
I've seen the first season, but don't have HBO, so that kind of cuts that out.
See, my thing was I tried reading the books, and I kept falling asleep. So I really did. I tried. Before anyone writes in to complain, how can you not like those? Because I tried to read the book, and oh my God, it's slow.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't bring myself to care about anybody because I started to care about this one guy, then he climbed the side of a building and fell off and broke everything. Well, crap, why should I care? You know, he was the only likable character, and you killed him. So I'm not going to care about anybody else in the movie. So there.
They like to kill people. I believe there's a supercut of the 192 deaths on Game of Thrones so far. So, yeah, they like killing people. But I
just haven't gotten into it. I'm sorry. I guess I'll wait till it ends.
This is the one show that you don't have to apologize for not watching Game of Thrones. I do like the segue, Rob, for the book to screen comment, because I've been watching The Mist on Spike TV.
Miz? The Miz? The wrestler?
The Miz. I've not been watching The Miz on Spike TV. Although The Miz might be... Well, I'm not going to say he'd be as entertaining, because I do like the show, but when they say it's based on Stephen King's The Mist,
The Mist. Okay.
Boy, it is very loosely based on The Mist, because and that's not a bad thing, but this is very different from the novella, very different from the movie. There's a mist, and people are trapped. That's about the extent of what's common here. And like I said, it's interesting.
Based on the premise of the book.
Yeah, which is, like I said, there's not a whole lot of point in just redoing the movie, and I get that as a long-form show. But the movie, so far, is much, much better. There are a lot of conflicts, but they're all more minor. and there's a lot of character development, but frankly, I don't care about a lot of these characters. It's okay. It's worth watching, and I'll watch it till the end to see if it gets better. Like I said, it's not that it's bad, but we're 4 episodes in, and so far, I mean, I'll compare it to something that's in a similar vein. Of course, The Walking Dead. You're hooked if you like that kind of thing. You were hooked almost immediately in The Walking Dead, like minutes into the first episode. I'm still waiting to get hooked, and this is 4 episodes in. And like I said, it's not that it's bad, but there's nothing compelling about it. There are monsters in it, and the monsters are well done, and there are some pretty graphic scenes. So, there are plenty of scares, and it's not just jump scares. It's not done poorly like that. But it's worth a watch. Watch the first episode. But I'll tell you, if you don't like the first episode, you're done. Because it's not going to change in episode 2 or 3 or 4. And the one big thing that they're missing that was in the novella and in the movie, it's this microcosm of society, and it's about how people react under stress. It's not about the monsters. It's about how people react under stress, which same thing as Walking Dead, really. And they're missing that because they've got these people split up into different groups, and it's just not working. It isn't claustrophobic enough. And that's what made The Mist so scary, because they were all stuck in this little grocery store. And there was no escaping what was happening in the grocery store, because if you're outside, you're dead. They're in a mall. That's one group is in a mall. There's another group that's roaming around trying to get to the mall, and there's a third group in a church, and it's so diluted. And I think that's the problem with it. And it would have worked if they had just gotten rolling. I mean, by the second episode, there should be major serious conflicts, and they haven't really happened yet. They haven't really hit that theme, and they're well into it. So for me, like I said, it's entertaining, but really has so little to do with Stephen King's version. I just hope he got a nice paycheck, because I can't imagine he thinks much of this. Maybe he does, but like I said, it's nothing to do basically with what he originally did. So kind of iffy there on that. And again, if you've not seen The Mist, Frank Darabont's version, awesome, amazing, super underrated film. Terrific. Thomas Jane is awesome in it. So definitely watch that 4 times instead of, time-wise, watch it 2 times instead of Spike TV's The Mist. You'll be much happier.
The Mist, based on a story of, we heard from a guy who got the premise from a third party about a book that Stephen King might have written at one point.
Pretty close.
Got it.
Pretty close.
Okay. I'd give it a spin.
Yeah, it's worth watching. And obviously, everyone's mileage may vary. Like the Planet of the Apes movies, I saw the first one, and I'm not talking about the 68 version, I mean this. And I just can't watch them because, to me, the special effects just aren't quite there. And Rob and I talked about this last week. When I watch any footage from the Apes movies, I'm seeing, wow, that's a really good CGI performance. Instead of, wow, look at that ape. And that pulls me out of it too much. And it's just, and Circus is awesome. And there have been some clips of him online. There's an awesome clip of him giving a big speech, and you can see it's Circus, and gradually they change over into Caesar, and it's very, very cool. And Circus is a terrific actor. He really is. He doesn't get enough credit. But
they showed that on the Colbert Show in the same interview, where later he did probably the best thing you're going to see on TV this week, which was reading Donald Trump tweets as Smeagol and Gollum.
That is amazing.
I have not seen that. It is online everywhere. Go find it, because
matter of fact,
it's better than anything else that came out this week.
Yeah, if you're listening to us live, stop listening to us live and go watch that, and then come back. We'll be gone by then, but you can listen to the rest of the show and podcast. That is incredibly hilarious, and it's also nice to know that Gollum's voice had no post-production whatsoever. I mean, that's crazy because
it's all circus.
Oh my God, it's creepy because the voice is just unbelievably creepy. But he totally does, like you said, he totally does the byplay between Smeagol and Gollum, and oh my God, it's amazing, and it's hilarious the tweet they chose. So
as soon as Colbert said, "Hey, can you read these tweets as Smeagol or Gollum?" First thing he does is get in the Gollum position in the chair.
Crouches in the chair, exactly.
Yeah,
it is.
Boing! I'm back in position. Ta-da!
It is amazing. So Andy Serkis definitely does not get enough credit, but I really wish they just stuck a mask on him from the '68 version because they still look more like apes. They still look more like apes. We'll get there eventually, but I don't think they're quite there yet. But again, Ted loves it, and I trust Ted's judgment. Rotten Tomatoes is, I can't remember, I think it's like 93 or something. I mean, it's off the charts. So
also, can I throw one thing in there? All three movies I saw at the matinee.
That's the way to go. How much does a matinee cost for you up there in Long Island, Ted? It's like $80 a ticket.
Unbelievable. Long Island, if you go to the movie theaters before 12 p.m. Eastern Time, it is $6.
What? That's cheaper than here. I need to make a road trip.
$6. But you will spend, if you want a soda and a popcorn, you will spend $30.
Hey, that reminds me. I do want to give a quick plug to AMC 24 in Vero Beach. If you're on the Treasure Coast, that's where you need to go see your movies because all the time, $4.27. That is your ticket price.
All the time?
All the time. First run, Friday night, $4.27. Nice theaters. I have no idea. They must be doing something they shouldn't be doing out of the back because I have no idea. I know. And it's funny because we have an AMC chain here in town where I live, Port St. Lucie, and it's the normal theater price. That's the only one I know of that does that. First Run Films. Concessions, yeah, they're expensive. I don't know. That's just the way the taxes work. Well, I mean, that is okay because it's $4 and then the taxes are a whopping 27 cents. But
that makes more sense.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I'll take the drive up there because it's about a 40-minute drive, and I'll go see 2 movies when I go because it's 2 movies that's worth the drive, which is what I did last weekend. It's totally worth it. And again, just very, very nice theater. Plus, they have a lot of smaller art house independent films, and so definitely worth it. So again, AMC 24 in Vero Beach. If you are within driving range, which for that money, if you live, I don't know, like in Long Island, it's worth the drive. So you should totally go to AMC 24 in Vero. Great theater. Yeah, seriously, it's very nice theater, very awesome staff. I mean, it's very strange. I have yet to manage to track down the manager and say, why exactly are you being nice to us? Because this is amazing. War of the Planet of the Apes for the Planet of the Apes, sorry. A mere 95 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. So Ted is not the only one who likes this movie. Rob and I might be the only ones who aren't going to go see it. But actually, a lot of people aren't seeing it for some reason. But go see Andy Serkis because Ted says you got to go see him because he is awesome.
He is. Unless you want to wait unless you want to wait to see him in the Black Panther. In another, 10 years?
Not that far off, Ted. But yeah, a ton of movies lined up. Which, speaking of that footage, some of the footage that was in D23 of Infinity War, Captain America shows up. Captain America is wearing a beard and a different costume.
Aha!
Which sounds like Captain America is, well, let me rephrase that. Steve Rogers is wearing a beard and a different costume, which again, he dropped the shield. And spoiler alert, if somehow you haven't seen that movie and you're listening to us, I don't know what's wrong with you. So apparently, they probably are following the Nomad storyline. I don't know if they're going to call him Nomad, but he sounds like he's not Cap. Black Widow has blonde hair because she's been on the run. So some interesting changes going on. Hopefully, as we all said, hopefully that footage will come out online after Comic-Con because there's so much to pack into this movie. Of course, it's going to be 2 movies, but it sounds like they're going to manage to do it.
Last year, they came out with Justice League footage at Comic-Con, and it was online within like an hour. I suspect this is going to do the same thing because the Avengers is the Marvel equivalent of the Justice League. So, yes, go ahead.
Right. And it makes 0 sense to release this footage to a small group and then not release it to anybody else. I mean, do you want to build hype for your multi-million-dollar franchise for 10,000 people or 30,000, however many can be at Comic-Con, or for millions? So at some point, they'll release it. And like you said, Rob, hopefully within like the hour. That would be quite fine. Quite fine indeed.
He would make... yeah. That's all I got, though. I've run out of stuff now.
I was going to say, when Rob says, that's the signal that Rob has gone through his material, and which is my signal to say, I have run through my material because I always run through my material at the same time Rob runs through his material. Ted.
Yes, sir.
You should let our thousands of listeners know where they can hear your wonderful, wonderful program.
It's more like billions.
On your show, yes, it is more like
No. I'm talking about another show. So Late Night Parents airs on 12:40 a.m., 95.9 FM, WGBB, Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we do a pod on Wednesday-ish, usually around 8, an episode is released. But I would like to extend an invitation for both of you gentlemen to come on my show next week, if you can.
Ooh.
And we could do a recap of the San Diego
Comic-Con
version of Comic-Con.
Can we go in your suitcase?
Might have a plan to do something then, as opposed to normally, which is just sitting at home on the couch going, ooh, there's nothing on. Click, click.
Much appreciated.
So, I would love to get you guys in, and we can talk the talk, and that's really it. But, guys, as always, thanks for having me on.
A pleasure.
Anytime, preferably when we're actually doing the show. Because, if you call when we're not doing the show, it's hard to put you on the air.
Yeah. And you can pull up, for all the people that say, you can follow me here and this and that and blah, 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 just go to latenightparents.com and you'll find out everything.
It's all there. It's your one-stop shop.
Ta-da.
Thank you, Ted. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Rob.
All right, kicked him off. Now we can talk bad about Ted. Ted is always so much fun.
Yes.
That would be awesome to jump on Ted's show. And again,
we should do that.
Ted is on the air, and when he says he's on the air, that's like a real radio station where people just walking around, if they have superpowers and they can receive that frequency, they can hear it. So it's not just a podcast. And it's an excellent show. Ted has a very cool show, Late Night Parent. And I have nothing.
I have nothing either.
Which means the only thing we have left is to say goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Ariel! Upa! Ride!
Do you think they will let me live in Montana?
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what?
Man, we have a weird job.
It's shameful, but it's a living.
Darn, that's the end. That's the end. That's the end. That's the end. That's the end.